Uh, Today we are going to look at the second chapter, numbers and sequences of 10th standard mathematics. Okay, let's see the quotation first. I know the numbers are beautiful. If they are not beautiful, nothing is. Paul Erdos. Okay, do you feel in the same way? Let's see. The Srinivas Ramanujan was an Indian mathematical genius who was born in Erode in a poor family. Okay, he was a child prodigy and made calculations at lightning speed. He produced thousands of precious formulae, jotting them on his three notebooks, which are now preserved in University of Madras. With the help of the several notable men, he became the first research scholar in the mathematics department of University of Madras. Okay, subsequently he went to England and collaborated with G.H. Hardy for 5 years from 1914 to 1919. He possessed a great interest in observing the patterns of numbers and produced several new results in analytic number theory. His mathematical ability was compared to Euler and Jacobi, the two great mathematicians of the fast era. Okay, Ramanujan wrote 30 important research papers and wrote 7 research papers in collaboration with G.H. Hardy. He has produced 3,972 formulas and theorems in a very short span of 32 years lifetime. He was awarded BA degree for research in 1916 by Cambridge University, which is equivalent to modern day PhD degree. Okay. For his contributions to number theory, he was made a Fellow of Royal Society in 1918. His work continued to delight mathematicians worldwide even today. Many surprising connections are made in the last few years of work made by Ramanujan nearly a century ago. I don't feel to omit this introduction of Srinivasa Ramanujan sir. Why? Because he was Indian and he is a great mathematician, right? That's why uh, we need to know about him. That is the reason why I continued from there. Okay, instead of here. Okay. Right. These are the learning outcomes. This I can skip if I want. Okay. Let's go to the introduction part. The study of numbers has fascinated humans since several thousands of years. The discovery of Lebombo and Ishango bones, which existed around 25,000 years ago, has confirmed the fact that humans made counting process for meeting various day-to-day needs by making notches in the bones they carried out. By making notches in the bones, they carried out counting efficiently. Most consider that these bones are used as lunar calendar for knowing the phases of moon, thereby understanding the seasons. Thus, the bones were considered to be the ancient tool for counting. We have come a long way, come a long way since this primitive counting method existed. These are the some of the carvings in Ishango bone. Okay. It is very true that the patterns exhibited by numbers have fascinated almost all professional mathematicians right from the time of Pythagoras to current time. We will be discussing significant concepts provided by Euclid and continue our journey of studying modular arithmetic and knowing about sequences and finite series. These ideas are most fundamental to your progress in mathematics for upcoming classes. It is the time for us to begin our journey to understand the most fascinating part of mathematics, namely the study of numbers. Let's see Euclid's division lemma. Euclid, one of the most important mathematicians, wrote an important book named Elements in 13 volumes. The first 6 volumes were devoted to geometry, and for this reason, Euclid is called the father of geometry. But in the next few volumes, he made fundamental contribution to understand the properties of numbers. One among them is the Euclid's division lemma. This is a simplified version of the long division process that you were performing for division of numbers in earlier classes. Let us now discuss Euclid's lemma and its application through an algorithm termed as Euclid's division algorithm. Lemma is an auxiliary result of used for proving an important theorem. It is usually considered as a mini theorem. Okay, let A and B when a is greater than b, be two positive integers, then there exists unique integer q, integers q and r such that a equal to bq plus r, where r lies between 0 to b. Okay, not equal to b, 0 less than or equal to r, less than b. R is nothing but the remainder, which is always less than the divisor. In this case it is b. If r is 0, then a equal to b into q, where q is the quotient, b divides a. Conversely, if b divides a, then a equal to, conversely if b divides a, then a equal to b into q. We have 34 cakes, each box can hold 5 cakes only. How many boxes we need to pack, and how many cakes are unpacked? How many boxes we need to take? We need to take 6 boxes. Then we can pack almost 30. Yeah, 30, not almost 30, exactly 30. 4 cakes remain unpacked. Okay, in this case the 4 is the remainder. Okay, the number of cakes in each box is 5. So will be, this is the divisor. By this we are going to divide 34. So this is a dividend, it is called dividend. What is the quotient? Quotient in this case is 6. Okay, right. The above lemma is nothing but a restatement of the long division process. The integers q and r are called quotient and remainder respectively. When a positive integer is divided by 2, the remainder is either 0 or 1. So any positive integer will be of the form 2k, 2k plus 1 for some integer k. For any positive integer will be of the form either 2k or 2k plus 1 for some integer k. Okay, either it is a even number or it may be odd number. Euclid's division lemma can be generalized to any two integers. Generalized form of Euclid's division lemma. If a and b are any two integers where a greater than b, then there exists unique integer q, integers q and r such that a equal to bq plus r, where 0 less than or equal to r less than mod b. Okay. Find the quotient and remainder, and when a is divided by b in the following. B, when you divide minus 12 by b, in this case 5 2s are 10, so remainder hmm, mm-hmm. If you divide it by 2, 5 into minus 2, remainder can be minus 2. Okay, if you want to make remainder positive, then you can take 5 into minus 3 plus 3 in this way, where remainder is 3. Okay, if you want to have a positive remainder, this is going to be the answer. Okay, a is 17, b is minus 3. Again go by that method. Minus 3 into minus 5, remainder is 2. Okay, again this case minus 4 into 5, minus 20. Okay, plus 1. You can see the remainder is always positive. That is what we are considering. So that the square of the odd integer is the form of 4q plus 1 for some integer q. So that the square of an odd integer. Okay, let x be an odd integer. Since any odd integer is 1 more than the even integer, we can have x equal to 2k plus 1 for some integer k. Okay, so what is x square? 4k square plus 4k plus 1. Take 4k common, k plus 1 into plus 1. Okay, right. So k into k plus 1, we have written it as q. Okay, that is also some integer, right? So 4q plus 1. Okay, So let's see Euclid's division algorithm. In the previous section, we have studied about Euclid's division lemma and its applications. We now study the concept of Euclid's division algorithm. The word algorithm comes from the name of 99th century Persian mathematician no, it didn't stuck. Al-Khwarizmi. An algorithm means a series of methodological step-by-step procedure of calculating successively on the results of earlier steps till the desired answer is obtained. Euclid's division algorithm provides an easier way to compute the highest common factor (HCF) of two given positive integers. Let us now prove the following theorem. If A and B are two positive integers such that A equal to BQ plus R, then every common divisor of A and B is a common divisor of B and R and vice versa. Every common divisor of A and B is a common divisor of B and R. And vice versa. Okay, Euclid's division algorithm to find highest common factor of two positive integers A and B, where A greater than B, using Euclid's division lemma A equal to BQ plus R or 0 less than or equal to B, where Q is quotient, R is the remainder. If R equal to 0, then B is the highest common factor of A and B. Right. Otherwise, applying Euclid's division lemma, divide B by R, so that we get B equal to RQ1 plus R1, where 0 less than or equal to R1 less than or equal to R. If R1 is 0, then R is the highest common factor of A and B. Okay. Otherwise, using Euclid's division lemma, repeat the process until we get the remainder as 0. In that case, the corresponding divisor is the HCF of A and B. Okay. Even though it appears a little tricky while looking from here with the alphabets, instead of taking numbers directly. If you take numbers directly, you can easily understand the above theorem. The above algorithm will always produce the remainder 0 at some stage, hence the algorithm should terminate. Euclid's division algorithm is repeated application of division lemma until we get the 0 remainder. Highest common factor of two positive integers denoted by A comma B. Highest common factor is also called greatest common divisor, GCD. HCF is also called GCD, not OCD, GCD. Euclid's division algorithm is repeated application of division lemma until we get remainder as 0. The HCF of two equal positive integers k comma k is k. What the? No, we have to stop there only. Illustration 1. Using the above algorithm, let us find HCF of two given positive integers. Let A equal to 273, B equal to 119. Be the two positive integers such that A greater than B. Clearly A is greater than B. Now you see how we apply Euclid's division lemma. So 273 can be written as 119 into 2, that is 238 plus 35. Is the remainder 0? No, it is not 0. Now you have to divide 119 B by this remainder R. Okay. What you will get 35 into 3 plus 14. 35 3 is how much? 3 5 15 1 105. 105. This is quite correct, but 14 is not 0. Remainder is not 0. Now you have to divide 35 by 14. Okay, 14 2 is 28 plus 7. Again remainder is not 0. Now what you have to do? Divide 14 by remainder 7. In this case it is 0, right? So remainder at this stage is 0, the divisor at this stage is 7. So the common factor, highest common factor of 273 and 119 is 7. That you can check also. Okay. Seven 1 is 7, 7 7 is 49. Okay. This one 7 3 is 21, 7 4 is 28, 7 3 is 21, 7 9 is 63. Okay. If the highest common factor of 210 and 55 is expressible in the form of 55x minus 325, find x. Oh, now let's find out the highest common factors first by using the equivalence division lemma. The value is 5. So highest common factor is 5 in this case. That you have to express in 55x minus 325. So equate 5 to this equation, you will get x as 6. Okay, not a great problem. Find the greatest number that will divide 445 and 572, leaving remainder 4 and 5 respectively. Okay. Now what we have to do? Since it is giving 4 as remainder, subtract 4 from here. It is exactly divisible by that number. Okay. So we have to consider 441. In this case, 5 as remainder. So remove 5 from 572, 567. That is divisible by that number divides 567. Okay. Now find HCF of these two numbers 441 and 567 using the Euclid's division algorithm. So 441 plus 126. Okay. Again 441 126 you will get 63 as the remainder. Again 126 and 63 it is exactly divisible by 63. It is divisible, since the remainder is 0 you have to take 63. So 63 is the required number. Okay. 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 This activity you can try at home when you're free. Theorem 3. If a and b are two positive integers such that a greater than b, and then GCD of a comma b is equal to GCD of a minus b comma b. Oh, since a greater than b. Okay. This is another activity to determine HCF of two given positive integers. From the given number, subtract the smaller from the larger. From the remaining number, subtract smaller from the larger. Repeat the subtraction process by subtracting smaller from the larger. Stop the process when the numbers becomes equal. The number representing equal numbers obtained in step 4 will be the HCF of given numbers. Let's proceed with this theorem. 90, 15. What is 90 minus 15? 85. Is it not 80? No, 75. Right. 75 comma 15. Again minus 75 minus 15 is how much? 60. Right, 60. 60 comma 15. Again 60 minus 15 is 45. 45 comma 15. 45 minus 15, 30. 30 comma 15. Okay, 30 minus 15, 15. So 15 is the GCD or HCF. Okay. Highest common factor of three numbers. We can apply Euclid's division algorithm twice to find the highest common factor of three positive integers using the following procedure. Let a comma b comma c be the given the positive integers. Find HCF of a comma b. Call it as d. Find HCF of d and c, and that is the required HCF. Okay. Now we have to find HCF of 396, 504, 636. First take two numbers 396 and 504. 504 can be expressed as like this. Is 108 0? No. So sorry. Is the remainder 0? No. That is 108. Now take for 396 express in terms of 108. Again 72 is the remainder. Take 108 again express in terms of 72. 36 is the remainder. Again take 36 and 72. 72 can be expressed as 36 into 2 with remainder 0. So 36 is the HCF of these two numbers. Okay, from the Euclid's division algorithm. Okay, now find the HCF of 36 and 636. Can be expressed like this. Is 24 0? Is remainder 0? No. Now you have to take 36 and 24 express like this. Again 24 can be expressed as 12 2s are 24. So 24 is the HCF. So the HCF of the three numbers is nothing but 12. Two positive integers are said to be relatively prime or co-prime if their highest common factor is 1. Okay. Let's see exercise 2.1. Find all positive integers when divided by 3 leaves remainder 2. All positive integers when divided by 3 leaves the remainder 2. Five is the first number which divided by 3 leaves the remainder to be 2. Okay, right. What about 10? No, 10 will not do that. 15, 15 also not possible. Let's first write some numbers, then we can get a sequence, right? Blue is the color, and we need to reduce the size because it is quite big. Now it is small. Okay, no problem, no problem. 5 is the first number, when divided by 3 leaves the remainder 2. Okay, it should be greater than 3, right? 4 cannot be. 6 is exactly divisible. 7 is not possible. 8, again 8. Yes, 3 2 is 6, 2 is the remainder. Okay, 9 is not possible. 11, right? So the number must be 3 times k plus 2. Okay, k starts from k starts from 1. 2 cannot be divided with 3, right? K starts from 1 for all integers. Okay, for all positive integers starting from 1. Okay, 3k plus 2 is the number which is when divided by 3 leaves the remainder 2. Okay, when k is 1, that is 5, when k is 2, that is 8, when k is 3, that is 11. Okay, so 3k plus 2 is the answer. A man has 532 flower pots. He wants to arrange them in row such that each row contains 21 flower plots. What's that? 532 flower pots. He wants to arrange them in rows such that one row should have 21 flower plots. Find the number of completed rows and how many flower pots are left over. Just divide 532 by 21. Yes, you have to. Okay, what to do? Increase the size, not visible. Okay, so you have to write 532 in terms of 21 times what? 21 times 21 into what? 21 into what? 21 10 ja 20 ja. Yes, 21 20 is how much? 22 ja. 440 461. 23 ja. This is 460 481. 24 ja. This is 480 plus 24. 480, yes, plus 20, 500, 501. So 25 ja. 21 25 ja. 525 plus how much? So remaining 7. Is it not 7? Is that correct? Right. 525 plus 27 is 532. How many flowers are parts are left? Is the remainder is indicating how many flower parts are left, that is 7. How many completed rows? The quotient indicates how many the completed rows, that is 25. Prove that the product of two conjugative integers is divisible by 2. What are the two conjugative integers, positive integers? Either 2k or 2k plus or minus 2k plus 1, where k starts from 0. Okay. Product of two conjugative integers is nothing but 2k into 2k plus 1. Except for k equal to 0, every other integer is divisible by 2. See, clearly you can substitute any number, it is clearly divisible by 2. When the positive integers a, b, c are divided by 13, the respective remainders of 9, 7 and 10 show that a plus b plus c is divisible by 13. Okay, right. So now we will write, we will formulate it, we will write it in this way. A equal to what? 13 times. You need to get a number here. 13L plus 9. That is what A is. L is a integer again. Okay. Let's put this also. No confusion. What is B then? B is also when divided by 13. So 13k plus 7. 7 as the remainder. K is an integer again. Okay. This is not required. What about C? That you can ask, right? Yes. Now you are asking, what about C? LK M or LMN. Oh, make it M. This one N. 13N plus 10. N is an integer again. Okay. Right. Okay. Now we add them up. 9 plus 7, 16. 16 plus 10, 26. Okay. If you add them up, it is nothing but 13 times. Okay. What's the big deal? I will add it here. Okay. We can quickly erase it. No problem. Yathal. A plus B plus C. Take 13 common. L plus M plus N. Not 0. N plus 26 is there, right? So you can take 13 common all together, right? So it is divisible by 13. Okay, you got the point? Yes, I hope so. So this is not required anymore. Prove that the square of any integer leave the remainder either 0 or the 1 when divided by 4. Prove that the square of any integer leaves the remainder either 0 or 1 when divided by 4. Okay, this is an integer 2k. These two are the set, right? 2k or 2k plus 1. Here are the generalized integers. Where to put. Okay, here. Okay, square it, 4k square. That is exactly divisible by 4. Remainder is 0. 2k plus 1 whole square again. That we have to check whether the remainder is 0 or 1. Okay. 2k plus 1 whole square equal to 4k, not care, square. Okay, 4k plus 4k, not k, k plus 2. What? 2. Right. 2 he is saying. 4k square plus 4k plus 2. No, this is not 2. 1. Okay. A square plus 2ab plus b square. Okay, alright. Now you can take 4 common here, the remainder is 1. Okay, so for one case, in the first case the remainder is 0, second case the remainder is 1. So either you will get 0 or 1. Use Euclid's division algorithm to find the highest common factor of 340 and 412. Okay, first one I will do. For remaining things you can try on your own. Okay, if you have any trouble doing them, you can ask me. You can always ask me in the comment section. Okay, 340 times into 1, 342 is very big number. So 341 plus, take 340 from 412. How much is remaining? 60 plus 72. Yeah, 72 is remaining. 2. Okay, again you have to take 340 and 72, right? According to the division algorithm, express 340 in terms of 72. So 72 into, where is into? Here. Into 2. Okay, 72 5 is 5 2 is 10, 5 7 is 35. Okay, 72 4 is fine. 4 2 is 8, 4 7 is 28. How much? 288. 288 means 12 remaining. Yes, 12 remaining. So 52. Is that fine? 288 288 plus 52. 288 plus 2 is nothing but 290 plus 50, 340. That is perfectly fine, no problem in it. Okay, now you need to express what you have to express here at least. Okay, here we will express 72. Okay, 72 in terms of 52. Okay, 52 ones are 52. How much is remaining? 20. Is that 20? Yes, 20. Is that 20? Yes, 20. Okay, keep it here then. No, keep it here then. Okay, then again 52 comes here. This place is occupied by 20. 22 is a 40. How much is remaining? 12 is remaining. Okay, again this is not exactly divisible, right? So this place is occupied by 20. Okay, this one occupied by 12. This time it is 12 into 1. How much is remaining? 8 is remaining. Okay, right, we'll push it. Okay, now we'll do it here, no problem. 12 comes here. 12 this here. 8 1 the 8, 8 4 the 12. Okay, now this will be 8, right, and this will be 4, this will be 2. No remainder. No remainder means this 4 is the highest common factor between these two. Okay, right, you got the point. This is the series of, these are the series of steps, and highest common factor in the first problem is 4. Keep it. Oh no, we went very wrong. We want to place 4 here. Where? Okay, we'll place it again. Okay, Okay. Okay. Okay, 4 is the answer. Why to write it? No need, right? Yes. No need. Okay, you can, I think you can do the remaining problems. Find the largest number which divides 1230 and 1296, sorry, 1926, leaving remainder 12 in each case. 1230, again 1926. Oh, use that. So, use that so, use that so. Okay, let me see, let me see. 1230, 1960 to 1926, leaving remainder in 12 in each case. Now you have to remove 12 from here. That number becomes 1218. No, 1218. This number becomes 1913. Okay. Now you have to find the HCF between 1218 and 19, 1914. 1914. Okay. That is going to be the answer. Okay. Since it is HCF, you can do on your own, I guess. If D is the highest common factor of 32 and 60, find x and y satisfying D equal to 36x plus 60y. D is the highest common factor between 32 and 60. First find the D. What is the D? 32, 60, what is the highest common factor? 32 and 60, 64 is fine for 60. 4 15s, 32 4 8s. So 4 is the highest common factor, isn't it? 4 is the highest common factor because 60 can be expressed as 15 fours, right? 15 fours. 32 can be expressed as 4 times 8s, 4 8s. So 4 is the highest common factor. So write 32 is x plus 60y should be 4. Try to find out x and y such that 32x plus 60y gives you 4. Then you have to try with what? When you multiply x with 2, okay, so it becomes 64, right? When y is minus 1, yes, that is 4. So x equal to 2, y equal to minus 1, that is the answer. A positive integer when divided by 88, positive integer when divided by 88 gives the remainder 61. What will be the remainder when the same number is divided by 11? A positive integer when divided by 88 gives the remainder 61. What will be the remainder when the same number is divided by 11? So that positive integer can be expressed as 88 times k. K is an integer again plus 61. That is what we can do, right? So this 88 is divisible by 11. So no problem. You can leave that part. The remaining part is the remainder only. So look at the remainder and divide it by 11. If you divide 61 by 11, 11 5 is 55. How much is the remaining? 55, 6 is remaining. So 6 is the answer. Okay. Prove that two conjugative positive integers are always co-prime. Two conjugative positive integers are always co-prime. Conjugative positive integers, that is nothing but 1 and 2, 2 and 3, 3 and 4, 4 and 5. Yes, one is even number, another is odd number. How can there be any common factor between any two conjugative integers? So they are co-prime, no problem. 2k, 2k plus 1. Try to find out the HCF. HCF is going to be 1 only. Okay, you got the point. So we will stop it here from 2.4, the fundamental theorem of arithmetic. We will continue in the next session. Okay, Nandri Vanakkam.